10 seconds ago is going to become live now.
Wait,
9 seconds ago. Where it's now 10 seconds. 8, 9 seconds ago, that was what was live, is now live now. Third base.
Who's on first?
There you go. Hello, everybody. Hello, all you happy people.
Welcome to the Monday Ask Mike Anything with
Scott Jernigan.
That's me. And Mike Meyers.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. I like the way you laugh at my jokes and you have no clue.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
You sound like Johnny Carson's sidekick.
Yeah,
Ed
brilliant.
McMahon.
Brilliant, Mike.
Office Space.
Mike is drinking, what, Earl Grey?
Tea, Earl Grey, hot. You don't even get that reference.
No, I don't.
It's from something called Star Trek. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, I'm more of an English breakfast tea guy than an Earl Grey.
Yeah, Dave, Michael Smyer came over and played with the audio, so it should be pretty rocking right now. He adjusted gains and levels and
He discombobulated the Fratastat.
compressed things and accentuated things and
Followed the tachyon field emitter.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what's going to do it every time.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Michael, you're either going to be on camera or you're going to stay there for the entire shoot. Which one are you going to do?
Sorry, I missed that.
You're either going to get on camera for a moment and say hello, or you're going to stay there for the entire shoot.
I'll say hi for a second.
Michael will show his pretty face here.
We're
So
not really pressuring him to show his face per se, but you know, Michael's like me. We have faces made for radio.
I exist.
There he goes. I exist. Thank you, Descartes.
awesome.
I think, therefore I am. I think. That was a Pink Floyd album. I'm just making cultural references.
Right and left. You're like on fire.
Can't help it. It's just me. All right. Well, anyway, folks, listen. The function of this live stream is to give those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies for our IT certifications. We concentrate on the CompTIA IT Fundamentals, A+, Net+, Security+, although we can certainly go outside of that on an as-needed basis. You ask the questions by typing them into the chat window. You'll notice that the chat window, it probably says top chat here in YouTube. Hit that pull down and move it to live chat, please. And then secondarily, there are 3 dots to the right of the word live chat. You want to make sure that toggle your timestamp on. Make sure that's on. That will help you later because we're giving stuff away. Well, we're not really giving it away per se. We're offering them as prizes for competitions. And
Right.
It will help in the competitions. It will also help you keep track of where Scott and I are because we invariably run behind. And we will then use those timestamps, especially if you've asked a question. You're like, when are these guys going to get to this? You know, it'll give you an idea where you're at. Not me. I mean, Scott Jernigan, always a problem. But I'm good.
Yeah.
I am. I'm full of goodness, Danny.
You are full of goodness.
Noonan. All right. Hold on. So we have questions from like 135. I can't read them, Scott.
Okay.
I need more monitors. You know what you get me for Christmas?
What should I get you for
You
your
didn't get me
Christmas?
anything for my birthday. You forgot it again.
Well, that's because it wasn't actually a milestone. I mean, what's 60?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, hey, you had your 50th wedding anniversary. By the time you're having your 60th wedding anniversary, it's like, how much more are these going to have to do? You know?
Pretty much.
Mike's getting pretty gray there, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Matt Hack at 125.
what a great name.
Right? But Telewit answered him and was the good answer. So Matt Hack asked, last week you said to start working while you're working on your cert. What kind of jobs can you get? You have no experience and you don't have your A+ certification yet. To which Telewit said, volunteer, which is awesome. Or do internship and work with tech stuff. I mean, that's a great way to get in.
Yeah, I mean, just entry-level jobs. It's pretty
Right.
much half the battle right there.
Yep.
Everybody's saying hello, 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 hello.
Hello. Except for Siegfried, who says, it's Monday, all in caps.
It is Monday. I've got a case of the Mondays.
Again.
Yes. And I've seen The Exorcist 67 times, and it just keeps getting funnier. How can you even work for me? That was from a movie called Beetlejuice.
Never saw it. What can I say?
Here's my best Jean-Luc Picard for you. Go ahead.
Make it so, number one.
There you go. Look at you.
There we go.
But I'll bet you could name other movies that Jean. Can't remember the actor's name. I've gone blank.
Captain Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard is played by. Oh, good God.
Carrie Dyer was the president of his international fan club.
She was.
And while she was working for us.
I mean, other than X-Men and all that, he was in a little movie called Excalibur.
That I remember.
See, there you go.
That I've watched like 20
you're so
times
easy.
at least.
So easy.
Yeah. Well, that's because that was a good movie.
Surely somebody's typed in the name of that actor.
Well, I'm not anywhere near the end of the chat here.
See that little thing? If you pull it, it takes you all the way to the end. Patrick Stewart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cable Dog Supreme 357.
We're laughing at your joke, Telowit.
Yeah, we're not going to
The best
propagate
Picard
it.
line. Yes. Shut up, Wesley. So, hey, folks, you can ask some technical questions and just straight up certification questions. There's two right here at the very beginning.
So go ahead, and a couple of things while we're doing this. So we started here at 2 o'clock,
Right.
and we've wasted 7 minutes quoting movies, but you know, that's part of what it's going to be. And then then we will run till 3 o'clock or until the questions run out. So if the questions run out, and I got to warn you, this hasn't happened yet, although we got darn close one time. It was like 20 after, and like nobody asked any questions. I'm like, well, you know, you're not going to ask any questions. I'm not going to be giving away vouchers. And all of a sudden people are like, oh no, we got questions.
Wait.
Why is the sky blue? You know?
So 201, JM asks, can you explain or clarify A records in DNS, please? Now that is the way to ask a question.
Well, I can both explain and clarify. In order to clarify, I would need a question from you. But I think I know what you're saying here, JM. And I'm just being a little bit of a smart aleck. So the whole function of DNS is to primarily to resolve fully qualified domain names to IP addresses. So if you hand a DNS server a fully qualified domain name like www.totalsem.com, DNS through a series of servers will resolve and hand your browser, well, let's just stick with browser for the minute, and hand your browser back an IP address. Now, of course, DNS isn't limited to browsers at all. Pretty much any TCP/IP utility that likes to have naming, email, help me out, what else is obvious here? FTP, SSH. Gosh, what doesn't use DNS? There's some, you know.
Ping. No, Ping does.
Ping uses it
yeah,
too.
Ping.
See, you got Michael Smyer excited over there. Did you see that?
I know, I was wrong. Someone was
his
wrong.
Apple
on the
products
internet.
are wiggling in his ears. I can see it from here. You got him excited. Is he saying?
He's
So anytime
listening
he
to the
talks,
stream.
it's going to be like in.
Swahili.
No, it's going to be like in the old Peanuts cartoons. So anytime
Wah,
Michael.
wah, 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 wah. Yeah, he's going to be the teacher.
That's going to be it.
He'll be correcting me throughout the entire session. It'll be epic.
So a particular DNS server, and there's a million ways that DNS can manifest, and it's wonderfully and interestingly complicated. But in the simplest world, you have to create what's known as a forward lookup zone. And a forward lookup zone basically says, I'm cutting a lot of corners here to make this fast. A forward lookup zone is a list of computers on a particular DNS domain. You can have more domains. Just keep it simple. For right now, a forward lookup zone is a list. So one forward lookup zone would be totalsem.com, for example, could be one example of this. And within that, you could say, okay, www and an IP address. And you would assign that as what's called an A record. So an A record is your most standard type of record within IPv4. The equivalent to an A record in IPv6 is quadruple A. But the goal of an A record is so somebody is trying to find www.totalsem.com. So the goal of an A record is to be the listing that defines this is the IP address for www.total7.com. And I got a wonderful video on that. Whenever I teach DNS, I use the same descriptor at pretty much any place. And so that is the basic answer. JM, you're going to have to ask me more questions if you want me to zero in on that a little bit. But that's the basic gist.
All right. So Brent Peterson at 201, can you explain what an ISO image is? When do you use it and why it exists?
Sure. ISO images were born primarily from optical media. We had a lot of challenges. It was the old ISO 9660. Boy, did I pull that out of a place. Well, the idea behind optical media originally was music. It was for sound.
Absolutely.
The first, arguably 7 or 8 years of optical media it just did sound. And it wasn't until a couple of standards came out, in particular the old Yellow Book and Red Book and Orange Book. These are old optical media standards. And basically the whole idea behind these standards was to define, you lost me.
Oh, sorry, I scrolled.
I have to keep looking at the question over and over again because I don't even notice I tend to.
Right.
Okay, so the bottom line is that optical media for a very large amount of the lifetime of computing was a primary tool for, more than anything else, installing applications. We saw it as an archival tool to some degree, not as much as people would like to think, but we had those out there. And so what would happen is there would be a lot of situations where you wanted a perfect bit-by-bit copy of what was on that optical media. And I don't know why it's called ISO. I guess because it stands to the ISO 9660 standard, but that's a guess. So ISO files were developed as a way to do a bit-per-bit copy of optical media. So when you have an ISO file, what you really have is a bit-to-bit copy of a installation disk or whatever it might be. Now the problem is optical media is starting to fade out. However, ISOs still stick around because they're just a wonderful way to install stuff. So like if you want to install Ubuntu, the most common way you're probably going to do it is you're going to download an ISO and you'll either burn that onto optical media or you can burn it onto a thumb drive. Or you can just leave it as is and attach it directly to a virtual machine.
Right.
So an ISO is a bit-by-bit copy of optical media.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
could have just said that.
You could have. You could have.
But why?
You are in a chatty mood today. And
I am chatty.
It's the Earl Grey.
It's Earl Grey, hot.
That's it.
Make it so number one.
Jeremy Parker says he's
engage. I'm done.
He's got his blue shirt on today. So
everybody's talking about their blue shirts.
So there are a lot of people here today. So I won't go through everybody's name, but hello, welcome. Good to see you all, either if you're new or returning. It's awesome.
Bearded IT guy is here. Bearded IT dad.
Just for the comedy.
I'm here for the comedy. Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby.
And I'm glad the audio's fixed for you. We're calling 203. We're just calling him Symbol.
Symbol. I was going to call him Steve.
I think Symbol, because I have no idea what those symbols mean.
I think it's Ty. Scott's like,
I don't know.
Will lives keep happening if the virus goes away? Virus isn't going away, folks.
Yeah, I think we're
too many people are making too much money on it now. What's the new version coming in? Starts with,
they skipped a couple letters, so I don't know.
I can't ask Michael.
I know he won't even hear us.
He's on a 10-second
Dave Rush,
delay.
however, is typing, so he might even tell us. What do we got? Oh, Richard Hayes from Bradenton, Florida is here, down the street from where my parents live, which is kind of fun. David Mohan is here.
I told you David Mohan was here.
Yeah, so David Mohan at 203, you can see how far behind we are already, asks, how much storage is required to install 3 to 4 VMs on VirtualBox?
Depends on the VM.
Second question, What are the requirements in terms of CPU, RAM, and storage?
Depends on the VM. You really, David, one of the things you got to really do, especially when you're playing with these Type 2 hypervisors like VirtualBox on machines of limited resource, is you need to take some time and look and see what they're saying. There are wonderful web sources that says, if you want to run Windows 11, for example, what should I put in there in VirtualBox? So they're all going to be highly variable. The limiting factor in my experience has always been RAM, primarily for running multiple VMs at once. Storage is... When was the last time you filled a hard drive? Thursday?
Yeah. 2 of them. I keep having to delete stuff. All my drives are full.
Well, you gotta quit making all those videos of your tango classes.
They're hot.
Those Argentines.
I tell you what, we do have our Argentine friend is here today.
But anyway, David, remember there's a big difference between installing virtual machines and then running virtual machines, right? Because obviously installing is going to take up mass storage, but running multiple ones is going to take up real RAM. And that's why I always tell people today, the absolute rock bottom minimum amount of RAM I would put in any computer today is 16 gig, and 32 is quickly becoming my new number. It's just that RAM's still expensive right now, so I'm a bit of a cheapskate.
Right.
Did you find your 30XO RTX 30X whatever yet?
You mean for under $2,000? No.
I'm getting so frustrated about this.
It's impressive.
We've been messing with video cards for over 20 years, and I'm now convinced what we're looking... Is this artificial now? Is this a way to make more money?
I don't know.
Double MSRP for higher-end graphics cards?
I don't know. Crazy.
I used to get mad paying $500 for a graphics card.
Yeah, now you can't even blink and get one. Okay, so 204, Scott Wolf asks, when would you troubleshoot using Performance Monitor versus using the Performance tab via Task Manager? Confused on this. Am I studying for 1002?
I get confused too, to be honest with you.
Well, there we go.
So I even have to look myself. Isn't that embarrassing?
Yes, Mike.
Why'd you go like this?
Because there was a gnat that flew in my face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the answer is very simple. The Performance Monitor is going to be a tool that you're going to be using to either you're going to be working with baselines. You're going to use Performance Monitor because you want to watch something over time. All right? Is my CPU spiking out too much from 9 to 5? That's where things like Performance Monitor is going to be a lot handier for you. The Performance tab is more a matter of looking what's happening right now in terms of memory, network, CPU. There's a fourth tab in there that is missing out of my mind for the moment. But that would be the big difference. Performance Monitor is something you use to monitor over time because you can save it in a log file. Everything's pretty. Performance tab is what's happening right now.
Okay, sounds great. I don't understand this question. This is symbol at 204.
Symbol at 204. Hi, Mike. During selecting the front side bus of RAM, sometimes use it as megahertz or mega T's?
Transfers. Yeah, I'm not...
Symbol, you're going to have to try to ask that question a little bit better, mon frere.
Don't read names incorrectly, Mike. At 205, Happy Tilt says, hey, Mike, I'll be taking my...
So would have done that.
I know, that's why I mentioned it. I'm taking my A+ exam in less than a month. Are there any exam preparation tips you can recommend to people getting ready to take their exam?
Be comfortable. Don't panic. Number one reason people fail CompTIA certifications is test anxiety. So just relax. Trust your skills.
Yeah, 206, Crumpus Dumpling mentioned that he got a job.
It's
with
Krampus.
Krampus.
What weird American accent are you using? Krampus? I guess instead of it for the TV, you call them a plasma TV? Is that what you call them?
Plasma. I speak only...
It's plasma.
Plasma, of course.
Lovey. It's my mid-Atlantic accent. Good God, Lovey. He must be a Yale man. Look at the cut of his pants.
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 Jeremy Parker.
That was from a television show called Gilligan's Island. I'm just letting you know.
Thank you, Skipper.
Gilligan, drop that coconut, bonk. Oh!
Jeremy Parker at 206. How do you restore a Chromebook with no partitions? I don't know.
Jeremy, I played with a Chromebook with no partitions. Why is it broken, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, how do I repair a Chromebook? Well, what you do is you hold up the mouse very carefully, take the Chromebook, throw it in the garbage, and slide another $60 Chromebook underneath it, and then lower the mouse.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Chromebook is they don't even really rely on storage for anything, right? I mean, you're really in Google's arms with the Chromebooks because everything's going to be Google Drive or online, which, makes backup a non-issue unless you got, you like your background.
Right.
Which you could certainly back all that up on a standard Linux box. I wouldn't see any reason you couldn't do that on Android as well.
I don't know. Christian is agreeing with you at 207, saying Beetlejuice is a classic. Shame on me.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe. Go ahead.
Okay, whatever.
Deo.
You guys are strange. That's all I have to say.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
Daylight come and I want to go home.
See, you did watch Beetlejuice.
No, I didn't.
Or you actually watched Harry Belafonte.
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Esteban Shafir. This is going to be a strange question. This is our friend from Argentina. Oops, and I just tapped my mic. Sorry about that. In spring 2022, I'm moving to the U.S. to start a Master's of Science in Cybersecurity in Miami.
Miami.
That's in Florida.
En español, por favor. Oh, and he's from Argentina.
Right.
So it's going to be, I cannot do an
You
Argentine
can't.
accent in Spanish. I'm
Okay,
terrible.
what are the chances to get a job later? Good.
Esteban, the big question I would ask is how you're getting into the States. If you're coming in on just a student visa, that can be a little tricky. So I don't know how you're coming to the States. The reality is that offshoring has never been more common than it is today. One thing that Corona did is it showed a whole lot of people can work very far apart and still be in connection.
Even 6 feet apart.
Even 6 feet apart, or slightly more in your case, or 2 meters, we like to say in Belgium. Esteban, I'd need more details about what you're doing and what your plans are. If you're coming straight on a student visa and you don't know anybody, it's not going to be very easy. I'll be honest with you. It's not impossible, but it's pretty tough.
Yeah, we had one of our most excellent video editors, Jesus, was here on a student visa and worked for us while he was a student. But as soon as he finished his degree,
yeah, the U.S. pretty much kicked him out as fast as they could.
And so then we offshored, and we still employ him, but in Mexico. So there you go.
Yeah, well, Jesus, that's where he's from, man. So he's got
Right.
family down there,
Right. Oh, yeah.
But it is very convenient. I thought it was very interesting that we could edit videos
Right?
over
Isn't that fun?
distances like that.
So 208, Ali Ul Ramul says, Sir, what do you mean by modern systems have a trickle of voltage on the motherboard at all times when the computer is plugged into a power outlet? Just a function of ATX of modern motherboards. They always have power when they're plugged in. Most of them these days have a little LED that you can look at, and you'll see it's lit up. And when you unplug from the wall, the LED goes dim.
I still would like. I'm going to probably revisit that because modern systems have a trickle of voltage on the motherboard at all times, even when the computer is plugged into. Even when the computer.
At all times, when the computer is plugged in to an power outlet.
What? Okay, we'll let it slide.
Okay. Andre de Guyert, 210. Without DNS, you can still use the internet, right?
Sure, if you know the IP address directly.
And if that
IP address doesn't change.
and if the system is only hosting a single website,
even that, most of the web servers now would freak out
Yeah.
if you typed them in directly. Yeah, the problem we have in particular with HTTP is that the initial request for the handshake in HTTP requires the client system to have the URL. The reason is, as Scott was alluding to, pretty much all web serving software today can support multiple domains. So just because you get a packet into a web server, you still need to have the name in there so it knows if it's got 4 different websites on there, which one you're going to.
Okay, excellent. People are popping in from all over the place. Hi, Fiona. Darius Bryant. Here's a good one. I do have a question about, this is at 213. I have a question about the Security Plus. Is the certification mainly recognized by the Department of Defense, DoD?
No.
Or do most human resources, HR, look favorably upon it as well?
Yeah, Darius, at no time have I ever thought that the Security Plus is DoD-centric. In fact, until maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said the opposite. But no, the DoD has nothing to do, and the presentation and recognition has nothing to do with DoD. Private sector and public sector here in the States recognize Security Plus with equality.
Right. Alan saying hi from Australia.
Omicron.
Omicron?
That's the version of Corona coming.
Yep. Oh, so Christian at 215. Not a technical question, but are you guys considering creating a course for CompTIA's Project Plus? Your other courses were instrumental in me passing my previous certs. Thanks a bunch.
Not at this point, Christian, but part of the way these new courses come about is through popular demand, and people who ask for stuff often get them. So keep hollering. You never know what we might pull off. Scott and I are about to spend a few months in A+ land,
right?
So I don't think much else is going to be happening.
That doesn't mean that the video production team wouldn't bring in an expert like they've done for several other courses, like Cloud Plus and Pentest Plus.
Sure.
So that's always a possibility if the demand is there.
Yeah. So keep hollering, Christian. That is the secret.
Yep. Okay. JM at 216. I'm a little confused with the relationship between SMB and DNS.
There is no relationship. They're both naming features. Can you explain how SMB supports DNS? It might be easier for me to say, how does DNS support SMB? So SMB is all that is left from the old Microsoft Windows NetBIOS over NetBEUI naming system that dates from the early-ish 1980s. And if you have up until, gosh, which version of Windows were you? For a long time, naming systems in Windows, particularly with server systems, was a real pain because you had DNS, but then you also had WINS, W-I-N-S. So
we should just let that go. Let it die.
Well, they have. I know for a fact you do not have WINS support built in to Windows Server. I bet you could probably still plug it in if you really had to. So SMB is a completely different naming system from DNS. For example, if you have a Windows system, all right, and the Windows system is in a work group, it's not in a domain. When that Windows system boots up in the morning, it's going to start broadcasting, who am I, what's happening, and there will be one machine. Hopefully there's one machine if all the machines are absolutely identical. God, these are so detailed, and I don't want to lie here. A Windows machine that's in a work group, not in a domain, will broadcast to get its name every time it fires up. A Windows machine that is in a domain will automatically query for a DNS server. So it's kind of built into the brains of Windows to be able to do. There's some more variances in there, but SMB is what you use when you're not using DNS.
Okay.
The problem is I could go on for 2 hours here.
I know.
Because there's exceptions and qualifiers, but...
Yep. So, Matt at 216. Is there any way to practice with a sim?
So this isn't the first time we've been asked this. What did we do before when we were asked this question?
Punted?
No, we didn't punt. I'll tell you what. Scott, write a notation. Let's see if we can pull. There's got to be online SIEM type systems that we can find for people to play on.
Okay.
Give me some time. Oh, hey, remember next week, Dr. James Stanger from CompTIA is going to be on.
What day?
I think it'll be Wednesday.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Dr. Stanger's epic.
He's a nerd too, man. he's a brother nerd, and we're probably going to be doing something on edge routing.
Yeah.
Because it's actually an area I'm a little weak in.
Okay.
And
Sounds
so
good.
I thought that might be a fun thing to talk about.
It is 2:31. Would you like to have a contest? Or you're not ready for it.
No, but go ahead and
Okay.
stall.
Yeah, so I'll stall. Stall.
Hey, why don't we just, you know what? Instead of pulling up a
Oh, interesting. Okay, so the back channel, Mr. S at 217 asked a couple of questions. I'm trying to set up a virtual machine with a Mac ISO. That's going to be an issue.
Well, because it's probably illegal.
Right. But also, can you suggest a converter for Linux to change a DMG file to ISO?
Wow. So a DMG file is really, it's an ISO. A DMG and ISO are...
It's a disk image.
It's a
That's what it
disk
stands for,
image.
Yeah. It's usually used on Macs.
Yeah, I guess that's why
But it's also an
I don't
image,
deal with it very
an
often.
image format.
Yeah, because you can make DMG files from using DD. Michael Smyer.
Yes.
What?
The whole back channel has been talking about this.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there's all this conversation going on. You've already answered it in the back channel. I was going to, okay. First of all, I'm not sure you would need, he wants to convert a DMG to an ISO?
Yeah,
Straight if you need to, but
Can't you just change the extension name? Aren't they that similar?
there's no standard to any of it. It's just a file system as a format, as a file. That's it. It doesn't even need a file extension. That's just a Windows thing.
Okay, well, I'm still going to stand by what I was saying then. You could probably just plug that DMG file directly into the virtual machine as a boot device. Give it a try. The other problem you have here is, where are you getting a Mac DMG file? So I guess if you made a copy of your own owned images and threw that into, is Parallels what all the hip Apple kids are using these days?
You can use anything.
Parallels?
So, like, I tend to use boot. If I'm going to boot a system.
He does this in the office too.
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Because he was actually asking me.
I'm going to use an ISO. I'm going to use a DMG in MacLand to distribute Mac software.
So that's what happened. This guy probably made a DMG file in Mac, and now he wants to convert it into an ISO.
Disk management, disk utility, maybe.
There's probably utility to do it, but also be careful, because Apple gets real unhappy about people making unauthorized copies of their operating system. I mean, if you're really, really wanting to do that, and I'm not going to condone breaking the law, but I will tell you that if you look in the seedier alleys of the internet, there are people who will give you an ISO of Mac to play with. But they're completely illegal. So, don't do drugs, kids. Just say no.
Okay, so...
You're just like, you weren't listening. You were just waiting.
You were don't do drugs, kids, just say no?
Yes?
I heard you.
Okay.
I was paying attention. I'm just looking at the
Read
chatter.
on.
Yeah, so Andrew Hutz had a question directly to me at 2:23. How have you not seen anything? I barely watch movies, and I've seen these. And?
He's Andrew the Hutz, though. So
Well, there you go. So Jeremy Parker
Doesn't that sound like a fake name?
No.
Jeremy Parker.
If it were Peter Parker, I'd say yes, it's a fake name.
Okay.
But Jeremy, that's a real name.
Or Jeremy Jones.
Right.
No, I'm still called Jeremy Parker.
Okay.
It's not his real name.
So I'm not into Chromebooks, but I sometimes get asked to repair them. So here's the key. A link was put into the Discord on Chromebook recovery. What, you may ask, is Discord? Total Seminars does not have its own Discord channel. A Discord channel is someplace where we can go and chat, either asynchronously by typing and somebody answers some hours later, or live with your camera and microphone. And we often go to the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. And Andrew, if you would put up the link to that, that would be great. Usually after the AMAs, we'll show up for a few minutes just to say hi and let you guys shine your faces on us too. So the Discord channel has 500 plus users at this point. Lots of great text on there. And Tulowit put a Chromebook recovery link on the Discord channel. So eventually Andrew will put the Discord link up, and that'll be great. Andrew is our esteemed moderator for the day since Dave Rush is on the road, even though he's still answering questions. How, you may ask? I think somebody texts and drives. Just saying. What else we got? Black Glasses said, "Hello, Kings. Nice to see you both again."
Kings.
Kings! I
El
feel
Rey.
royal. Los Reyes.
Con dinero o sin dinero.
So at 223, the bearded IT dad says, "What's your preferred hypervisor to use?" Don't answer it yet, because Alan Owens, all the way from Australia, had the funniest respond. Type 1 and Type 2. But Andrew Hutz, of course, popped in at 225, VirtualBox. That's what a lot of us use. One, it's free. It's regularly updated. Although, yeah.
I'm deep in the midst of.
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm so. Scott,
Okay.
let's have a competition.
What kind of a competition shall we have, Mike?
Let's have a competition. Let's start by giving away free practice questions.
Okay, so this would be a free 90-day access to any practice question that Total Seminars sells of your choice. So whatever exam you're working on, you can win this. So there are a couple of rules here. One, the contest is not really fair. It's as fair as we can make it, but because of the vicissitudes of internet communication, how's that, huh?
Vicissitudes.
Yeah.
How many S's are in that?
I don't know.
About 11.
Yeah, 11.
I'm looking for a question.
I know. I'm
Cover
giving
for
him
me.
I'm giving him the spiel here. When you type your answers to the question, Mike's going to put up a multiple choice question from probably A plus or Network plus,
No, I'm
or
going to
Security
do.
plus,
I'm going to do CYSA.
or in this case, CYSA plus. And there'll be a multiple choice question. You need to answer not A, B, C, or D, but put in enough of the answer that we know you know what you're talking about. Got it? And the first person who answers correctly that shows up in my feed is the winner. Got it? So those.
We got it, Mr. Jernigan.
Yeah, okay. So I'm at 226, just remember that.
All right, let's do this.
All right, let's do this.
All right, you guys ready? So you have to answer this. You got to type your answer into the live chat. Do not type. This is a multiple choice question. Do not type A, B, C, or D. Type enough of the answer out that I know what you're talking about. Okay. So that's the secret. And here we go. This is CYSA question, folks. This is a little more advanced, but I thought we'd get an easier one.
Where is it?
Where's what?
I don't see the question.
Oh, because I need to press this button right here.
There we go. Excellent. Oh, and only A, B, and C show up. This could be a tougher question.
I'm prepared to deal with this.
Okay.
Okay, which of the following terms, so this is just a definitional question. That's kind of why I thought it might be fun. Which of the following terms describes the collection and analysis of threat trends, to identify potential or actual threats to the organization? So, threat modeling, threat hunting, cyber threat intelligence, or risk analysis. This is another of these questions where if you're really kind of a jerk, you could give it more than one answer. But I think it's, I think I know what the answer is.
Okay, a lot of people typing in answers.
Give folks a minute to type
I'm
them in.
going to give them a minute.
Well, you're always in such a rush.
I got places to be, things to be, places to, whatever.
Careful, it's a landmine
It's a
of terminology
landmine,
in there.
I know. Oh, and if you answer and you don't want to win, just type pass. Because then it's all about.
Do we have some folks in here?
I think we do.
All right.
What do we got?
All right, so this is what the collection and analysis of threat trends, okay? So threat hunting is such an easy one, but this is just cyber threat intelligence. I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Check my answer. Yes, C is correct. All right, so yeah, that's just because that's what we call it. It's called cyber threat intelligence. Do we have a winner?
All the way from Argentina, Esteban Shafir.
Esteban.
Congratulations.
Go for me, Argentina. Cyber threat intelligence. Esteban, congratulations. You are the winner. So, Esteban, in order to claim your prize, you have to do a couple of things. Esteban, are you paying attention? ¿Tienes pluma? Why is this being so pilly? Here we go. I think we got it right. There we go. There, Esteban, in order to claim your prize, you have to send an email to Kathy Y. That's Kathy with a K. Kathyy at total7.com. That's the primera parte. And then you have to put your YouTube name, whatever your name is in YouTube, you have to put it in the email itself. And then also say which practice exam you wish to have. So just put those three things in the email and es todo. Muy fácil. He's from Argentina. I don't get to practice my Spanish enough.
I can tell.
¿Cómo no? Tengo de muy mustache, muy guapo.
Wow.
Did I see Zach?
Zach? Is Zach here?
I thought it's
Zach is here.
That.
Okay, I'm gonna just go with, since Zach is here. Who knows how long he'll be here?
I got to get ready
This is
for
at
the
2:32.
voucher giveaway here. Go ahead.
Total Seminars channel, I have a different kind of question. What is yours, Scott's, and Dave's, if he's listening, favorite IT qualification?
Qualification.
Qualification. Intelligence.
A qualification.
In other words, if I'm hiring somebody, I want him to be smart.
Yeah, got to be smart. Motivated. You really want to. I want somebody who's happy to be here. I mean, there's easier ways to make money in life. So that would be my answer. Motivated. Does that work for you, Scott?
I think it works great. Esteban, our immediate winner, at 226, followed up on his earlier question about going to Miami and doing his master's. Says, thank you guys. I worked in information security for more than 10 years, and I have a student visa. And he hopes that he can get optional practical training at least. It would be awesome. So
get an internship while you're here in the States, man. If I was going to tell you to do one thing, is that even if it means reducing the total number of hours you're taking, because you are allowed to work doing student work, doing internships and things like that.
Right.
On I don't remember the name of that student visa, whatever it's called. But that's going to be anywhere you go, solid experience in the U.S. with a U.S. company, because it's going to say a lot more about you than just your experience within that. It's going to talk about language skills, which is going to be a big one, right? Americans, we're terrible.
English is obviously perfect. So
yeah, his English is great.
yeah.
But still, it helps people notice stuff like that.
Right. So at 228, so we're still quite a ways behind here. I think we might actually run over a little today.
All right.
Scott Wolf asks, I'm thinking about Linux Plus after finishing CompTIA A+. Should I go with Network Plus, Security Plus first? I heard that Linux Plus is in popular demand.
You got that one, man.
Yeah. So Linux Plus, I would say you probably want at least to have Network Plus knowledge. But Security Plus, not so much. But yeah, going into Linux Plus, why not? what you need to do is look on Indeed.com or LinkedIn to see what job searches you find when typing Linux Plus. And if there's anything in your area, that might be the one to go with. And what are we at? Okay, Andrew Hutz at 229 put the link to Discord. If the link shows expired, those of you who are just now joining today, just click around in there. You'll find a way to get in. I don't know why they always expire.
So I did hear from Kathy that theoretically everybody's prizes have all been passed out. So if any chance...
And also heard from Dave that he has sent in every single...
Yeah, unfortunately we have very little control on that side.
Right. All of the people who've won vouchers, all their information has been submitted to CompTIA. So it usually takes a week or a week and a half for CompTIA to respond. So be patient. And whoever wins today, Dave will be turning things in on Friday after his show. He'll do the entire week's winners all at once. Anthony Truong at 231. I got your Network Plus. We'll study for that soon after A+. I have been hearing recently that A+ is not as valuable for someone who is getting a certificate for cyber defense from a college.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I do think that the A+ is a little bit too single system specific. And while the A+ does cover networking, it looks at networking from the point of, this is my system, there is already a network, so I got to get to that.
Dave Rush reminded us that when we looked at finding practice software for practicing on a SIM system or SIEM, SolarWinds would be an option.
It's a compromise, but it's free. It's relatively easy to install. It plays nicely. It has a lot of interesting features.
Okay. Thank you, Back Channel, for your support. That's awesome. People are like, so he's seen Spider-Man since he knows who Peter Parker is. Or I read comic books as a kid.
Yeah. I'm afraid that would be true for me too. Or the...
Spider-Man.
Yeah, just leave it right there.
Yeah. There we go. And then people are competing.
So we scroll past.
Okay. Yes, and there's our winner.
A lot of people said cyber threat.
Absolutely.
Nathan English.
Hey, Mike. This is at 241. Hey, Mike, I'm wondering your take on remote help desk as your first job. The chances of me finding a local on-site job are slim. So should I consider finding a remote job or travel an hour to Chicago? He's just moved to Chicago. It's a great city, except for in the wintertime.
He's an hour outside of Chicago. I'm curious.
He's in Detroit.
He's in Detroit? No, he's not. He's like in Joliet or one of those little towns like that. Or he's up in Wisconsin.
Or he's in Holland.
It's a little south. There actually is a Holland, Indiana.
Holland, Michigan.
He could
what
be.
I was thinking of.
Oh my God, there is a Holland, Michigan.
Right on the lake.
No, he's at the Indiana Dunes. If he's an hour outside of Chicago, sand dunes. I don't think that remote help desk jobs are the best jobs out there. I think that short term that there's conveniences, and if your lifestyle prevents you from getting into Chicago, then you accept that. But the better deal is always going to be where you can be in front of people and, working hard to impress the boss and that kind of stuff. I think it's very, very hard to do.
Right.
Remotely. But remote jobs are out there, and there's plenty of them.
Absolutely, especially in the days of COVID here. So at 2:42, the dog started barking loudly. Roshan Patterson says, what is the difference between A+ and IT Fundamentals Plus?
A preview.
Okay. IT Fundamentals Plus is what we call a low-stakes exam that is based on essentially how computing devices work. So that includes basic networking, that includes basic programming, Includes databases and applications, but it's a very, I wouldn't say easy so much as entry. So it's a great place to go if you have no certifications, you've never taken a CompTIA exam before, and you're starting out. So it's a good way to do CompTIA. It's relatively inexpensive compared to their other exams, although I think it's up to $100 or something, $75. But A+, on the other hand, that's your entry-level certification for being a computer technician. So that's your basic help desk, I'm building computers and fixing networks. A+ is the certification to start with.
I like it.
Okay, excellent. Joey Quetzal says, Mike, your Spanish is excelente.
Thank you. What?
I'll just go with it.
What?
Esteban is waiting to see you tangoing.
Oh, tangoing. Da-rum-ba-dum-dum. Ocho cortada. That's what I was learning last.
Okay, all right. Potato slice, it just like smacked me. 243. How do you define smart?
Not dumb. Scott's rapier wit.
Or something like that. How would I define smart? Somebody with a questing mind who asks insightful questions, who...
I'll bet he's talking about like smartphones.
Oh, well, there you go. Wow. Mike's neighborhood is filled with yapping dogs.
Lots of friendly
okay,
dogs.
All right. So we'll go here. All right. I'm not reading these out loud.
Don't.
Kinsey64 at 244. Hey, Mike, I have a question for you. I'm struggling with my A+ certification, 1002.
I've read it already. Kenzie64, are you using my practice questions? And have you scheduled for a third exam yet? Kenzie, you need to answer those two questions. Go ahead and just hold on to that. We're going to wait. Kenzie will answer in a minute.
Oh, excellent, Joey. 2:44 p.m. He found A+ on his library. And LinkedIn Learning is good for showing up at libraries and providing...
Yeah, LinkedIn does a great job with that kind of stuff.
Some libraries finding free access to all of our stuff, so...
Can you set a Discord link to not expire? No.
Yeah, no, they just...
But they still work though, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you have to like click on it harder?
Yes.
I'm being serious.
Yes.
Okay. Try clicking on it a few times.
Nathan is southmore of Joliet. So you're right. Your first answer was like straight on.
Well, I watched the Blues Brothers.
Yes, Andre Goyer, referring to my ITF Plus video series, it contains peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yes, that was my way of teaching how programming works.
Peanut butter jelly time, peanut... I'm like the only person who remembers that anymore.
Wow, okay, 251. Rena Barath, off topic. I want to start from scratch by studying hardware, network, database, security, software, app, front end, etc., and back end. What do you suggest? How can I achieve this?
I want to understand cooking, brain surgery, race car driving, and parachuting. What's the best way to do this?
Join the Army.
You might want to take a look at A+ as a place to at least get started on that. But
And
Rita, you're asking for literally 4 or 5 different bodies of knowledge. And what do you want to know about this? Are you vastly experienced? Why would you want to do this, Rita? You'd have to explain this. It's not a bad question. You just need to develop it more.
See, I dug potato slices rap. Airplane. Did you ever see that?
I did. It's all right. I speak jive.
Wow. Okay, Kinsey, 64. No to the questions, yes to the test. It's in 2 weeks. How do I access your questions?
Well, Kinsey, what's the discount code for this week?
Oh, yeah. Hey, if Andrew would post up the AMA special for this week, it's 50% off on all of our combined practice exam and ebook So if you're studying for A+, for example, you would get the A+ ebook for 50% off and the A+ practice exam for 50% off. Just go to totalsem.com and put both of them into your basket and type the code BLUE for Blue Monday or Blue Origin. I don't know why Kathy said blue, but blue is the code for this week.
Blue Bayou.
And that
Blue Moon.
Blue Thunder.
I'm blue, ba-ba-dee-da-da, blue. Dude, that song. But anyway, so all you got to do, this is for Kenzie.
That's right.
www.totalsem.com. Go to the merchant area, grab an ebook. So you're doing he said A+, right?
Yeah.
So get the A+ book and then get the practice questions. And just before you check out, type in what code?
Blue.
Blue, B-L-U-E. Is there a capitalization there?
Nope.
Okay. Just type in B-L-U-E and you'll get half off. We're already about the cheapest out there. These prices are insane. So that's going to be the easiest way to do it. If you're poor, I guess you can keep showing up on Mondays and Wednesdays and we give away free practice questions.
That's true. Absolutely. And Wilson at Wilson Kunzwana, Micah at 253. I've been trying to get your A+ practice tests on Udemy. I keep seeing Dion training and other sources. There are lots of good questions out there, and Dion's are good. The practice tests that we have on Udemy are a subset. So, for example,
we were literally the first certification test ever written on Udemy, on that A+. And I respect what Udemy's trying to do, but we still write our own practice questions online, and that's probably going to be a better way to go. Head over to www.totalsem.com and pick up a copy of my practice questions today.
All right, sounds good. We are almost at the end at 257. Spade Z, two Z's.
You just pronounce it as spades.
Okay, also, wait. Hi, Mike and Scott. I recently passed my Network Plus with your guys' videos. Congratulations. And I'm continuing into Security Plus. Any insight into what people struggle with the most? Thanks. I was going to joke about subnetting, but he already passed his Net Plus. Or she. I don't know.
AVI nut?
Spades.
AviNet?
Spades.
Well, no. I was asking there. We can only do one bundle a week for boring, complicated things, so we don't have the type of bundle you're asking for right now. Sorry about that.
Continuing into Security Plus, any insight into what people struggle with the most? You notice I just naturally edit these things because I can't help myself.
What do people struggle with the most on Security Plus? I think the biggest problem people have with Security Plus, unlike A Plus and Network Plus, is that Security Plus is kind of all over the place in terms of topics. Whereas with both A Plus and Net Plus, with A Plus, you start with basically a CPU and build your system out. With Network Plus, you basically start with an OSI and build your system out. Mm-hmm. But with Security Plus, you don't have that. There's no natural conversation to have with these arguably 12 very distinct topic areas. And that can be a challenge. And so it's easy, especially if you're a kinesthetic person like me, somebody who likes to be typing on a keyboard and turning screwdrivers. It gets really tricky to ignore things like risk management because those are just the words, I want to do it.
You know why Code Blue?
Why?
Michigan finally beat Ohio State.
Oh, the Americans are playing football.
Yes. And Kathy Yale went to Michigan. So I was texting her during the game, and she's like, I'm terrified. Because, Michigan has not done well against Ohio State, and they blew them out on Saturday.
I just never got that much into sports. One of my ex-wives was a huge sports fanatic, like huge, and I'd be the one, standing in front of the TV wearing something filmy going, talk to me. She'd be like, get out of the way. the 49ers are on the 30-yard line or something, I'd be crying. No. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite that bad, but it's so funny, you're football. I used to like football. I don't know, boring.
I watch all kinds of football.
I prefer soccer now.
You're such a liar. Of the 3 people in this room, I'm the only one who watches.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of corpses buried, but they're not really.
Are they really in the room?
No, they're not.
Yeah, no, they're under the room. Yeah,
Good.
totally. Do you have a question ready for the next?
I do. Okay, so are we ready?
I think it.
You think the only reason anybody's still here, Scott, is they want a voucher? There's no other reason to be here.
Okay, so here we go. The voucher, CompTIA has lovingly, caringly, whateveringly given us the ability to give you a voucher from them. So this is not from us, but this is a voucher for any CompTIA exam wherever CompTIA exams can be taken.
So we have to put in a little plug.
Right.
CompTIA for your IT certification needs. That's Lombard, Illinois, Chicago 60609.
Excellent.
There we go. That's complete BS right there. There's somebody at CompTIA going, I have chest pain.
So the key is, just like the first thing we did, the first contest we did, Mike's going to post up a multiple choice question. Don't answer A, B, C, or D. Type in enough of the answers so that I know what you're talking about. The first person who gets correctly the answer on my feed wins a CompTIA voucher from CompTIA.
Yeah, so people get a little crabby because it's like, no, I answered first. It's like, well, maybe on your screen it looked like you answered first, but not here. Anyway, guys, so we're going to do an A+ question. And since we did a definitional one for the voucher, for the practice questions, I want to do another definitional one because definitional are frustrating, because it's like either you know it or you don't know it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a definitional thing here. Folks, whoever wins this wins a free voucher, which is worth up to $400 depending on what certification you're taking. So are we ready? The first step in troubleshooting is to... Come on, Scott, you have your 7-step troubleshooting process memorized?
Sure.
The first step in troubleshooting is to...
Identify the problem. Implement a solution. Follow up with the customer. Document the service.
Or E. Oh, wait, there is no E.
All right, what is the first step in troubleshooting, Mike Meyers? Let's give people a few minutes to answer, or a minute or so, 30 seconds. Oh, good Lord. They were ready to answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there. Their fingers were on the keyboard. All right, so what I want to do is look at a definitional question, and let's pretend like we don't know the answer, okay? So what I would look at a question like this, first, and let's just say I'm clueless. I'm just clueless. Number one, document the service. That sounds like something, documentation sounds like something you do at the end, right? And then C is follow up with the customer. So that might even be after documentation. You see what I'm saying? I'm just using regular horse sense here, Scott, and I've got it down to 50-50 odds of getting the right question right.
Okay.
Even if I don't know anything here. So now I'm left with A and B. Identify the problem, implement a solution. Well, I would probably want to identify something before I implemented a solution for it, right?
Right.
So I'm going to say this is A. Now, folks, this doesn't always work, but it works a lot. So let me check the answer. A is correct. Huzzah! So the answer is A, identify the problem. This is a great example of definitional type questions that you run into, not just on CompTIA, but on just about any multiple choice test you're going to take.
Right.
And by using a process of elimination, if you can get any question down to two potential answers, you probably are going to pass that certification in general. So you go through on your first swipe and you know a lot of this, right? So you get 50% of them and half of them you have is right. But then you go through again, but you can get all the multiple choice questions down to 50-50 odds. That means, why are you tittering so?
Because you're doing to them what CompTIA does.
What?
You haven't announced the winner yet, and you're making them wait. while you give them a survey.
I'm pontificating. I'm 60 years old. You got to let the old men do stuff. I'm not wearing any pants.
That's true, by the way.
Well, don't tell them. Andre gets excited when this happens, all right?
Good Lord.
I did. I'm absolutely doing what CompTIA does.
Yes, you are. Why we should announce the winner.
Let's talk about what CompTIA
No.
All right. I'm still going to tell the damn winner, Scott. Who is it?
Oh, and timestamp 3:05. Go ahead and cut that word. Congratulations, Potato Slice. You are the winner of a CompTIA voucher. So
Potato Slice.
Potato Slice, right there.
Do we know Potato Slice?
No.
Well, we know Potato Slice now.
We do now.
All
That's
right.
awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, Potato Spice. You have won a CompTIA voucher. Now, in order to get this voucher, you've got to jump through some hoops. And first of all, you're going to have to send an email. You're going to send an email to Dave Rush of Total Seminars. So it's going to be
Dave R at TotalSem.com.
Daver, Dave R at TotalSem.com. And in that email, you got to put your YouTube name, whatever name you have here, it's got to be on there, email address. But you're like, but Mike, you got my email address because I'm sending it from you. I don't care. I still want the email address in the body of it, your full name, country where you reside, don't worry, we're going to send you all this information. We're going to post it, but I just want to say it out loud. And if you're a USA resident, you have to say what state you're in. Oh, also, you have to say what exam you want. And don't just say A+. Good gosh, don't do that. Remember, all CompTIA exams have a number associated with them. Like, for example, with the CompTIA A+, it's the A+, 220-1001, 220-1002 currently. So when you're telling CompTIA what voucher you want, go on the CompTIA website, double check the name of the exam you want, and then send that along as well. Anyway, Potato Slice, we'll have all that information up there for you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, so look at Andrew. Isn't he the best?
Andrew is doing epic moderation. Moderating.
He's moderating moderately. Xerxix 78.
Excellent.
It's like old home week.
Right, past my
Xerxix, you still owe me the $3, man.
last week.
Boy,
Congratulations.
make that a round of applause there,
Yeah.
Scott Jernigan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I did it backwards around.
it's all right. We're counter-rotating.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah, like a P-38 fighter.
So, potato slice, it's 307.
It's a potato slice.
Andrew Hutz posted.
Wow, you didn't take that one? All
You
right.
say tomato, I say tomato.
Too late now.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine. You're in my zone.
Yeah.
This is the zone of them and
Chat away, Jernigan.
Andrew Hutz posted the contest directions, so you can email Dave Rush at daveR@TotalSim.com.
Don't email me, because
Oh, wait, whoa. That's the wrong email. So, potato slice, you need to send it to Dave R.
what did you...
Andrew had D Rush. That won't get to him.
Yeah, we're going to type it out there in the chat one more time.
Or, well, I don't know. Dave Rush is now typing, so I'm going to stall.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up, but do keep in mind, Potato Slice, the chat window stays active for a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead, let me wrap this up, and we will give you the correct email right here in the chat window real quick.
My microphone's dead, so.
Say something.
Something. My microphone's dead, according to Dave Rush.
Well, there it is, lad. All right, guys. Well, listen, congratulations to our winners today. Good luck to you guys. Do keep in mind that the Discord channel is up. It's 24/7, so you can get on anytime you want, but especially if you want to chat. Usually waiting 10 to 15 minutes after this show ends, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays is always going to be your best bet. Keep in mind, we got Dr. James Stanger from CompTIA is going to be on next week. We're going to be discussing edge routing, unless he comes up with something else and I just give him space. And I think that's all about covered, don't we?
Absolutely.
And I'd like to thank all the little people. All right. But anyway, folks, we're all done for the day. Y'all have a good one, and we will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.